So welcome to the Earthling EDC channel. My name is Phil, and on this channel we talk about compact, highly functional mini EDC kits and the tools that you put on them. So in today's video, we're going to talk about these tiny little flashlights that have become extremely popular in the EDC community. I've got three different designs. This is one that I just purchased recently for about $3.50, and it does a lot. And I've got two others here that we're going to go through and show you how to mount them onto mini pocket racks. And a pocket rack is pretty much just a little mounting kit that you can use. This is one of the mini kits that we've built in the past. This one was actually designed for a little mini wallet. So this is a little wallet that was set up. I did it in a video previous to this one. It's got all these tools here, and then in here there's a mini bit driver and a ratchet that's built in here as well. There's also a little cash slot. But these are built, I'll show you, here's a kit that we're going to be kind of building from this one. This is a little bit larger, but you can see it's very narrow. And this is what a pocket rack looks like when there's no tools on it. It's just a plastic card with these little slots here for attaching the elastics to. So, and then you can put it in here. So I'm going to show you how to make these kits and how we're going to take these three flashlights and we're going to adapt them to this system. And I hope you stick around. I think you're going to enjoy this. See you in a bit. Okay, so this is the Workos HD01. And the way I got it to be a low profile like this on the pocket rack is that I removed the pocket clip. So this is the pocket clip. As you can see, it works two ways. So you can hook it on a brim of a hat, or you can put it into a pocket and it will work very nicely. But you'd have to, you could, if you don't want to use it this way in a mini kit like this, you're fine just putting that thing back on or taking it off, whatever you want to do. But it's got 3 screws on it, very easy to pull off. Once you've taken it off, though, it gives you also access to the battery pack at the rear. So this plastic piece pops off, and then you can see the battery pack inside if you want to mess around with that. So this is kind of a neat little flashlight. It's pretty lightweight. Again, you could probably put it on a brim of a cap. It puts out about 1200 lumens in turbo mode. It also has a laser, which is kind of neat to mess around with. I've actually thought it was kind of useless, but I've actually had fun using it as a pointer. So that's kind of a neat feature. And then it also has this very cool side light, which is very, very bright. I actually have readings, as I mentioned previously, for all of the light output on all of these flashlights in a spreadsheet compared to other flashlights I've worked with over the past year. So you can get a pretty good idea of how they compare maybe to a light that you have. The other thing that they have is the side light has some other color features too, a flashing red, a waterfall type pattern that comes up with multiple colors, a raindrop pattern, things that I normally would not use, but they might be good for, like, if you're walking on the street with this thing in a pocket clip, it might be a way to ward off cars if you're walking at night. So it's kind of a neat walking feature if you want to use that. The front light is, again, very, very bright. Let me see if I can pop this up for you. Oops, that's the wrong one. Turn that one off. Go here. There you go. Oops. And there's the front light. And there's, I think, 3 or 4 settings on the front light. Turn that off. There's also I guess a standby breathing mode, they call it, where the lights, these 2 buttons here, will just glow off and on very gently, so you can find them late at night if you want to access the flashlight. But I specifically got this flashlight because it fits on this card design. This is a standard pocket rack design, again, 112 millimeters in length by 72 millimeters wide. You can access this card if you want to download it and print one for yourself or have somebody print it for you. And I'll include the links again in the description for this video if you'd like to access those. We're also going to be selling these for the first time. I'm going to be printing them out for people. I've got so many requests for people who want to be able to print these. I'm probably going to start doing that next week. So end of October, beginning of November, you should start to see these at the earthling.com website. And again, the description, a lot of the stuff that's in the description is at the earthling.com website too. So if you need access to where to purchase these things. Oh, Workos is also, I'm not being compensated for this, but Workos is for me testing this thing, they're offering to you guys some pretty substantial discounts on this over at Amazon. So if you want to take a look at that, please do. And let's go on to the next one. All right. So This design is a little bit different. Again, all three of these flashlights that I'm showing you have different features on them. I specifically wanted them to be quite different from each other. So this one offers the ability to have, again, it's a flat light like the other one. It's very low profile. This one, because the weight is much less, I did use the hook and loop directly on here, but you could also use the bands if you wanted to. And again, I have a video on how to make these bands. They're very simple to do and very low cost. So the feature on this that I like the most, well, I like it a lot. All the features pretty much, but it's got the side light in a different location. It's on the edge here. As you can see, there's a red one. There's a ultraviolet, which is kind of cool if you're in a hotel room, want to check things out, make sure everything's kind of clean. And then it also has a side light here, a white light on between. It's kind of a warmer color white light and not super bright, but enough to kind of, let you navigate. The red light is very nice too. It comes in either a blinking mode or continuous mode, which is kind of neat. I like that a lot. And again, you have the dual power function here, which is kind of neat. So you've got a AAA in here, or you can use the lithium polymer as your primary battery source. I'm not going to get into too much detail on this thing. It pretty much, the front, I believe it turns on the front light. This one is, yeah, it's in moonlight mode now. I'll turn that one off. And then the backlight is for the side light over here. It allows you to go through that. Again, the stats on this thing are listed in the spreadsheet that I've set up for all of these lights, as well as lights I've done this year, so you can do a comparison between them all. There is an interesting feature on here. I think they've resolved it now, but in a previous version of this, so if you don't want to put let me talk about this real quickly. If you don't want to do the hook and loop on the back of this like this, it's actually an ideal location for that, and you just want to have the straps on here, it's really easy to do. I just set it up this way because I like being able to pull it off very quickly. I mean, you can get access to everything on here very quickly by just pushing it through like that. So it's not a huge deal to do. But yeah, if you don't want the hook and loop to kind of mess up the overall, design of the flashlight, then don't put that on there. Just strap it down. Anyway, let's get back to this. So one of the things that was bugging me before on earlier versions of this was getting my finger under here and pulling up that release tab. So I had an earlier version of one of these flashlights, and it was, they seemed to resolve that issue, but it was way too tight and you just couldn't release it. So you'd have to press down on the top while pulling up to be able to take that off. The other thing you do is when you release it, it's a rotation. It's not a straight pull off. And you can see that the battery just pops up very quickly. So you can push that back down, push this back, and that's just the indicator showing which which battery source. So we're on the AAA right now. Yeah, as soon as you pop it back in, it switches over to the AAA, which is kind of neat. So yes, numerous functions on this. I'll let you delve into those if you want to. This was primarily just talking about using these flashlights specifically with small EDC kits. So you can explore further into that. But there's a lot of videos on getting into the details on each of these flashlights. But this is a really nice flashlight. Highly water resistant, very lightweight, highly functional with a lot of different tools on it. Dual functionality as well, which is kind of cool. I like it a lot. I have a smaller version of the A5 too, which is kind of interesting as well. So we're going to make some nice lights. So we'll set that aside. Now here is the Warsun. Again, like with the other flashlight with the Workos, I did remove the pocket clip for this. So it's, again, 3 screws and it comes right off. And it gives you a very, very flat attachment point on these pocket racks. So it's sitting totally flat on there. And I'm using the hook and loop on this as well. Again, you can get into using the straps if you like this, for holding the pliers in place. But yeah, it gives you a very nice compact design and actually gives you space here if you wanted to add an additional tool on the side as well. So that's kind of nice. And then you have the whole back side too if you want to attach additional tools. So here's all 3 of them. Put them next to each other very quickly for you. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how we get these into the various pouches. So for the racks that we've been working on today, again, they're the standard size. You need slightly larger pouches like the ones you're seeing here. So I've got 2 of these are set up. These are actual EDC pouches, but the other 3 are not really intended for that purpose. So to show you what it looks like this is a neoprene pouch similar to the one I showed you before, but it's for holding cameras. So what I did with the two pouches, two of the three pouches that we showed before, I put them in back to back in here. So now you have the ability, let's say instead of this flashlight here, you had, let's say, some first aid things that you wanted to carry. You could put them onto this rack and just have access to them by just pulling it out that way. So it basically takes something that's an open pouch and turns it into a modular pouch for EDC. So you can carry all this stuff on tools on one side, and then on the other side you could have whatever else you wanted to carry. So that gives you a lot of options to work with for setting up a pouch. So again, this is a neoprene pouch. You'll have the links to all of these pouches in the description for this video if you want to take a look at them after the video. Anyway, so this, let's go to this one here. This is another pouch that would work well with multiple. This is the shotgun shell pouch. It holds 10 rounds. I've taken out the 10 elastics that were on the inside for holding each individual shell in place. And it'll expand and contract based on how much you want to put in there as well, which is a really nice little feature to have. So in the case of the neoprene pouch, you could do the same thing here. You could drop in 1, 2 if you wanted to, or you could double side one pouch. So you could have one pouch with tools on both sides, one of these racks with tools on both sides if you wanted to. But this way, it actually gives you the ability then to pull out what you want to use at that time, or you could have it double-sided, like I mentioned. You might even be able to get a third one in here if you wanted to. The flat format of the flashlights that we've been working on really makes it nice to be able to add these things into it. I have done previous videos with standard size flashlights, and they take up a lot of space inside. But these flat flashlights really improve the ability to carry a lot more stuff and have a lot more efficient pouch. So that's another option too. And then this one has the 2 clips on the back, so you can stick it on your belt if you want to. But yeah, this is a nice way to go. This is from Roaring Fire. They do some really nice little mini pouches. So this is set up for EDC. It's dedicated for EDC. It's kind of padded around it as well. Again, it has the clip on it, which I really like. And if you don't want to run it, vertically like this, you can run it the other way and just, run your belt through here if you want to do that. But this gives you another option as well. Again, I'll have links to all of these in the description for this video, so you can take a look at them. So this is a Kosi bait, which is, I think a lot of people have seen these on Temu and on AliExpress. Pretty inexpensive, probably usually run around $4 or $5. It's a pretty standard pouch. You can actually take a flashlight if you want to and drop it in here if you wanted to, or you can put one of the cards into, here, I'll show you. So we'll take out this is a wallet pouch. So we can take out, this has the very thin, the Warsun T7 that we had looked at is very thin. Look how thin that thing is. It's just amazing how compact that is. You can actually drop this, oops. You can take it and drop it into this little Kosi bait pouch if you wanted to. Fits perfectly. Or you could take that flashlight out and just slide it into one of these outside pockets here if you wanted to. So it gives you a lot more options. It's wide enough where you could actually probably put tools on the back of this as well. It does not have attachments for putting onto a belt, but if you wanted to drop into a pocket or hang it from some location, it gives you that option as well. It's just another way to cover yourself. Let me see what else. Oh yeah, here's the one where I just took it out of. So this is a nice little wallet pouch, which is nice. And again, you can take the card and just drop it directly in. You could have it double-sided if you wanted to. It's really nice and compact, and it's pretty much set up like a regular wallet is. So it gives the ability to have the tools with it as well. So it's a nice setup as well. So these are all viable options for the standard size pocket rack. If you're considering any of these, take a look again in the description for this video. I'll have links to everything that's shown here, and these are all pretty reasonably priced. $4 or $5 for some of them, and I think the Roaring Fire is a bit more. And this one is generic, so it's probably in that $4 or $5 range as well. And then they will all work with a standard size pocket rack, so they're ideal for what we're talking about here. So what's the point of all this? For me, the reason I did this video today, and I came across these flat flashlights, is I'm thinking that they increase the efficiency of these pocket racks. So by being more flat and taking up less space, but still giving me a high density of return in the way of light that's available through these things, I can get them into a smaller pouch. I can put more tools on the pouch. I can do more things because these are better designed than the larger, bulkier ones that I had. I mean, there are some small cylindrical flashlights that I do use as well because I like the size and the way they work, but these longer lights also give me other abilities as well. This cob light on here will light up an area like it's incredibly bright. So it's almost like a room light, frankly. I actually put it into one of the lights next to my side of the bed, and it lit up the inside of the light stand like I had turned on the bulb inside. It was really neat. My wife walked in and said, "What is that?" And I described it to her, and it's amazing how efficient these lights are becoming. So that's where I'm coming from on this thing. This video is pretty much about making these more efficient. This is one tool to be able to do that. Those three options are available to you. I like all three of them, frankly. They're slightly different purposes maybe for each one, but if you're looking for a light and you want to go down this path, this might be perfect for you. Again, if you don't like these lights, these flat lights, or you don't like the cob light, or do what's right for you. Pretty much make your EDC kit your own. You should be designing it to work for your needs. Everybody has different needs as far as these mini kits go. And just keep that in mind the whole time. I'm just throwing out some ideas. If you want to share your ideas in the description below, I would encourage you to do so. I love to see what people are building out and what they like. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. This was a fun video for me. It made me think a lot about how I'm setting up these flashlights. I hope it worked for you as well. Hope to see you again. Take care.